For decades, it's been the world's most dangerous tightrope walk. A shadow war, fought in the dark corners of cyberspace and with covert ops. It's like a chess game played in a dark room where you can only hear the pieces moving. But we're about to explore a speculative timeline, a look into a possible near future where that shadow war has just burst into open flame. In this hypothetical scenario, the stalemate shatters in mid-2025. Today, we're stepping into that alternate reality, one that exists just over the horizon, to ask, what happens when this conflict goes hot, and what kind of peace might rise from the ashes? Picture this. Devastating strikes have just rocked Iran's nuclear facilities. The very sites that have given world leaders nightmares for a generation, Natanz, Fordow, Iraq, have been hit hard. But out of the rubble, something surprising emerges. A 10-point plan, proposed by Tehran itself. On the surface, it looks like an end to the nuclear standoff that has defined the 21st century. But is this a genuine offer of peace, or is it a Trojan horse? A beautiful gift hiding a dangerous agenda? We're going to dissect this proposal and reveal what it could truly mean for global security. To understand the weight of this supposed 10-point plan, you first have to understand the sheer violence that, in our timeline, came before it. Here, the simmering conflict boiled over in mid-2025. A series of coordinated US and Israeli strikes, hypothetically escalating from June 2025, targeted the heart of Iran's declared nuclear program. And these weren't surgical strikes with a scalpel. They were a blunt force message delivered with a sledgehammer. Massive ordnance penetrators, bunker-buster bombs built to tear through mountains, were reportedly used on the heavily fortified Fordow facility. Cruise missiles rained down on the sprawling centrifuge halls at Natanz and the uranium conversion facilities at Isfahan. The heavy water reactor at Iraq and the Bushehr power plant were also hit. The goal was to sever every possible path to a bomb, whether uranium or plutonium. The stated objective, according to a figure like Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, was the complete elimination of the program. The United States, in this scenario under a President Trump, was brought in to hit targets buried too deep for anyone else to reach. In the aftermath, a storm of conflicting claims. President Trump declared the program met with total obliteration. International inspectors from the IAEA condemned the attacks on safeguarded facilities. And from Tehran, a narrative of defiance, downplaying the damage and insisting their ultimate capabilities were untouched. But here's the problem. Obliteration isn't the same as elimination. While the physical infrastructure, thousands of centrifuges spinning at supersonic speeds, was wrecked, the knowledge behind it wasn't. It's like smashing a master chef's kitchen. You've destroyed the ovens and the pots, but the chef still has the recipes in his head. For years, Western intelligence has said that human expertise remains Iran's most valuable asset. Expert assessments following these fictional strikes would paint a complicated picture. Yes, the breakout time, how long it would take to enrich enough material for one bomb, had been pushed back. The path to building a whole arsenal was, for now, gone. But a huge vulnerability remained. An estimated 60% of Iran's highly enriched uranium, the stuff that gets you most of the way to a weapon, was still in the country. This created a new, and maybe even more dangerous, reality. It's like Iran now has all the ingredients for a bomb sitting on the counter, but its oven is broken. It's a wounded Iran, its program in ruins, but still holding the key ingredient. A cornered animal is an unpredictable one. And it's from this position of damaged pride and lingering power that the diplomatic game suddenly changed. Just as the world braced for Iran's next move, the script flipped. Pakistan stepped in to mediate, brokering a fragile 2-week ceasefire set to expire on April 22, 2026. This pause came with a bombshell. Marathon talks in Islamabad, focused not on a U.S. proposal, but on a unilateral 10-point plan drafted and presented by Iran. Published by Iran's own Fars news agency, this was no document of surrender. It was an incredibly bold opening bid, like a poker player who just lost a huge pot, suddenly pushing all their remaining chips into the middle. President Trump, while keeping his distance publicly, acknowledged it as a workable basis for talks, signaling to the world that a deal was very close. For the first time in this scenario, an endgame seemed to be in sight. But the devil, as always, is in the details. And the details reveal a strategy that is as audacious as it is brilliant. Let's break down the core of this proposal point by point, because this is where the real story is. First is point 1, the headline made for TV. Iran commits to never pursue or develop nuclear weapons. Then comes point 2, which calls for an end to aggression. The critical detail here is Iran's definition of aggression, which includes any action against its network of proxies. This is like telling your neighbor, "You're not allowed to do anything about my guard dogs, even when they're in your yard." It demands a free hand for Iran to support groups like Hezbollah and the Houthis without interference. Next, point 3 lays out a major demand: the potential withdrawal of all U.S. combat forces from the region. This is immediately paired with point 4, a safe passage protocol for the Strait of Hormuz. In short, Iran would control the world's most critical oil choke point and decide who gets to pass. Together, these points are like demanding the neighborhood watch disbands while handing over the master key to every house in town. It's a bid for regional dominance. Then come the economic demands, starting with point 5, the complete lifting of all sanctions. In a particularly bold follow-up, point 6 demands war compensation. It's like causing a 5-car pileup and then demanding the other drivers not only pay for your damages, but buy you a brand new car. This isn't a reset. It's an attempt to undo decades of economic pressure and get the U.S. to pay for a conflict it started. Finally, point 7 creates the central contradiction of the entire plan. It demands the U.S. formally accept Iran's right to enrich uranium. This is like a known arsonist promising to never set another fire, while demanding the right to keep a garage full of gasoline and matches. While Tehran offers to give up the bomb in point 1, it simultaneously demands to keep the very technology that builds it. So when you put all these pieces on the board, the strategy becomes brutally clear. This 10-point plan isn't a white flag of surrender. It's a masterclass in geopolitical judo, using the opponent's weight against them. It's a gambit by a damaged but defiant Iran to get through diplomacy what it could never win on the battlefield. The full truth of the proposal is this: Iran is offering to trade the verifiable, physical junk of its nuclear program, the shattered centrifuges and bombed-out buildings, for irreversible strategic victories. It's like offering to trade in your wrecked car in exchange for the deed to the entire highway. They're asking the U.S. to tear down a decades-long sanctions architecture, pull its military out of a vital region, and legitimize Iran's control over global energy. In return, a promise not to build a weapon, while insisting on keeping the very tech that would let them do it at a moment's notice if the deal ever fell apart. It's a plan to trade temporary nuclear limits for permanent strategic gains. Breaking down these intricate geopolitical games is what we do here. The headlines tell you what is happening, but we dig into the details to show you why. If you appreciate this kind of in-depth analysis that goes beyond the talking points, take a moment to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You'll be supporting independent analysis that helps you make sense of the complex forces shaping our world. This brings us to the razor's edge of our speculative future. The April 22nd ceasefire deadline is looming. The talks in Islamabad are on the clock. The world is facing a choice between two poisons. If the talks collapse, the world could face an immediate return to conflict. But this time would be different. Renewed strikes would be aimed at a nation that may feel it has nothing left to lose. In that scenario, does Iran, like a cornered player flipping the entire game board over, make a desperate dash for a bomb using the 60% enriched uranium it still has? That could trigger a full-scale regional war that would make the first strikes look like a minor skirmish. The diplomatic path is just as dangerous. Can the ceasefire be extended? Maybe. Can a deal be salvaged? The US is reportedly pushing to put the genie partially back in the bottle with something that looks more like the old JCPOA. Verifiable dismantlement, redesigning reactors, a 15-year ban on enrichment at key sites. But a President Trump would want a permanent solution, not another deal with expiration dates. And Iran, feeling it has the stronger hand now, is pushing its much more ambitious 10-point plan. The world, in this near-future scenario, is trapped. It's stuck between two deeply flawed choices: a risky return to open war with an unpredictable and still dangerous Iran, or an equally risky deal that could legitimize Tehran's ambitions and leave its nuclear potential dormant but fully intact. The strikes of 2025 were supposed to end the threat. Instead, they may have just transformed it. The loud, visible fire of an active nuclear program has been put out, but it may have been replaced with a silent, odorless gas leak. A threat that is invisible, but could become explosive at any moment. And this forces us to ask the final, lingering question. Has this crisis, born of fire and fury, actually brought the world closer to peace? Or has it just set the stage for a much more dangerous new chapter in Iran's long nuclear story?